Have you ever planted a seed and had to wait for days, months to see that seed sprout and give fruit? Or taking pictures that needed to be developed from their negatives? Growing up, cameras that were available in the region I grew up were the ones that required you take them to a dark room, usually a developer's studio, and the photo negatives, as they were called, goes through a process of being taken out of the canister, loaded into a reel, and then placed in a development tank. Then a chemical is poured in. I don't know what it is called. A whole other process is followed that finally brings out the images. All this is done in utter darkness and silence. I have been privileged to go to such studios, and I can tell you the wait is not funny. Whether it be the wait of a curious child, or looking out for the greenish sprout of a few weeks ago planted brown seeds, or the excited lady waiting patiently or not for her pictures to be developed, the silence that surrounds it is usually loud. The stories of the Friday Jesus was crucified can be x-rayed from different angles. The mother and the immediate families of Jesus in anguish after watching their son and brothers killed in a most painful way. The women in his team who watched and wailed from afar. His disciples who scampered and hid in fear with their hearts broken with sorrow and despair and their hopes dashed. The men and the women he was good to, healing their sick, raising their dead, feeding them. Then there is the father who had to turn his eyes away from his beloved son because of the weight of the sin he bore for humanity. Still, after the cross, there was a silence. The earth stilled. The earth stilled. The crowds had vanished. Hope seemed to have been buried beneath a stone. Hell 31. It was Saturday. The in-between. A day of silence, grief, shattered expectations. God was quiet. Heaven seemed closed. It seemed hope lost. The disciples were not sure what he said would happen. But some of the women waited with unbated breath as they eagerly waited for the next day. They were not so sure, but they dared to believe. That was all they could hold on to. Faith in the words of their master. David Wilkerson wrote, and I quote, "Very few people discuss the Saturday between Good Friday and Easter Sunday. What was God doing in the silence of the grave?" Whatever angle you viewed it from, the silence of Saturday was deafening. Yet, in the silence, something stirred. In the stillness, the greatest battle was being won. He descended to the depths to shatter death from inside. He went into the spiritual realm and made a proclamation to the spirits in prison. The silence of the Saturday isn't the end of the story. It is the sacred pause before resurrection. The silence of Saturday prepared the entire world for the victorious shouts of Sunday morning. Even today, we have all experienced the silence of Saturday. Those moments of silence when it felt like God is absent or has forgotten. Those periods between the promises and their manifestations, prophecies and its fulfillment, I call them the in-between. A.W. Tozer calls them silence that is sometimes more eloquent than all human speeches. It is always very long, painful, and lonely, and most times feels like nothing is coming through anymore. There are no accolades of men, sometimes no comforting ears or shoulders to lean on. But the presence of a silent Saturday does not mean there will be no victorious Sunday. The reflective pause of the Holy Saturday, marked by stillness and anticipation, does not mean that it is the end. In fact, it marks the very start of a new beginning. The period before the break of dawn is usually the darkest time of the day. Trent Shepard puts it this way: in the hour of their deepest discouragement, God was already at work. In the silence of Saturday, God was not absent. He was at work. Wait. Trust. Sunday morning is coming. Happy silent Saturday to all of us in the wait.